especially with absentee owners. When we're having a conversation with them, we should be going or trying for 3 no's. And if you try to get 3 no's, in most cases, you'll get at least 1 yes. What does that mean? Let me give 2 distinct scenarios or paths. Path 1 is when we're reaching out to the active buyers. For example, active landlord buyers. But it could be cash buyers, any buyer target, because any of the buyer targets in LeadDeck, so any of these buyer targets, if I go dashboard, any of these buyers or even the flippers, most of them, for sure all the greens here, the buyers, own at least 5 properties. The flippers may or may not. Most of them, if they don't own 5, they're turning. So whatever. But these guys, for sure, own at least 5 properties. So I'm going buyer route. Are you interested in this bait? Okay, I just made this short and sweet so you get the point, right? That's not the actual script, obviously. But I've got bait. Are you interested in this bait? They say no. Okay, not interested as in you're not looking for any deals right now, or just not interested in this deal. And they say, I'm just not interested. We're not buying right now. Unusual, but does happen. Okay. If I have a conversation with this target, and it could be landlord, active, either, more than 50% of the time, if I'm in a conversation by email, text, or phone, they're looking for something. But it can happen that they're not. So they're not looking at all. In fact, there was an example last week, Paul, the guy Paul. I called him. I said, is this Mary? I didn't say, is this Mary? I said, I'm trying to reach Mary. And then I realized, oh, it's Paul and Mary. So I called him back. He owns multiple properties. He's not looking to buy. I went for the 3rd no. Do you have any properties in your portfolio that you wish you didn't have? Or you could say, you want to say some variation of this script. Any properties in your current portfolio that you'd consider an offer on, or that you might consider selling if the price was right. You can mix that up however you want, but the sentiment of the question is what's most important. And if they even say no to that, you could ask this: would you be totally opposed to me sending you a monthly market update or something along those lines? So you could even go for a 4th no. Seller side. And I'm taking this from the perspective of absentee owners from the seller angle, meaning it could be tired landlords, it could be out of state absentee, it might be in-state absentee, or any absentee filter stacked with other indicators of motivation: tax default, involuntary lien. What's the other stack? Or it could even be tired landlord and inherited. There's a number of different ways that we can stack those. Any of that scenario, text message. Hey, Campbell, this is Josh with eXp Realty. Is there any chance you consider selling your property at street address to a private client of ours in the next 30 to 90 days? The email copy for Campbell, parentheses, the street address. Hi, Campbell, just curious, is there any chance you'd consider selling your property at street address to a private client of mine in the next 30 to 90 days or less? If you could, please let me know either way. Which, by the way, yesterday, while I was at the orthodontist with Sammy, my oldest, I was tapping to text and email. I have since gotten 4 replies. I emailed, I'm just going to say somewhere around 20. I've gotten 4 replies. Now, all of them have been no's, but I'm going for the follow-up, okay? The bigger win is a reply, right? Because for cold email to get a 20% reply rate is bananas. Anyway, they say no or not interested or not right now. Okay, got it. Do you have any other properties in your portfolio that you might consider selling right now, or some variation of that? They say no or not interested or not right now, whatever. Makes sense. So are you looking to add anything to your portfolio that we might help you find? Or makes sense. So are you interested in adding to your portfolio right now? I'm telling you, it is hard to get 3 no's. And if you try, I dare you to prove me wrong, because you'll be wonderfully surprised, because in most cases, you'll at least get, if nothing else, you'll get a lukewarm yes to one of them. Here's a real world example from earlier this week. Okay, this was sent Monday morning at 11:06 a.m. I couldn't even remember. I don't know which one this was. It's a multifamily owner, so it's absentee owner, multifamily in Enola, but I can't remember what, it might have been tax default. I don't remember. Subject line, for Terrance, street address, okay? Exactly as I described. Hi, Terrance, just curious. Is there any chance you consider selling your property at street address to a private client of mine this winter or spring? Can you do me a favor and let me know either way? I changed that. I don't really like the way that's worded, so I changed it to, if you could please let me know either way. If you could please let me know either way. It just sounds a little more polite. Either way, whatever. Splitting hairs. We're not currently looking to sell that property at this time. Got it. Thanks for replying. Any others you might consider an offer on right now? No. So I got 2 no's. Not really. We're currently trying to add to our portfolio, not reduce it. We only have a few doors, most added within the last year, unless you're looking for land in Northeast PA. So I said, what part of Northeast PA? Can you tell me more about what you're looking for as far as properties to add to your portfolio? So he gave me information about that property and some more context about their buy box. He even told me that they're currently working with a realtor property manager. But the realtor, it sounds like more is a property manager. And here's what I know. There aren't many realtors in my market that are doing the work that I'm doing to uncover deals for clients. So I view this as a collaboration, not a competition. He's got someone that can help him with something that I don't want to help him with, property management, but he's looking for deals. I then said or sent a Loom video with information about the active buyer pool for the land he has and asking some more clarifying questions about their buy box. Now, he subsequently responded and he told me I'm in Canada right now, so I'm sorry. I'm in Canada and he must be on the West Coast because he's 3 hours behind. So I don't know, he must be in Calgary or somewhere like that. I didn't ask why, but he said, "Hey, I'm not forgetting about you. I'm just traveling right now. I will further clarify his buy box, and I also am planning to see if I can find a buyer for his land." Now, I'm not going to take a ton of time on that because it's in Pennsylvania, but it's nowhere near me. A. B, just from what he shared, I don't think he's super motivated pricing wise, but I will do some of the work. I will at least do the work to reach out to, there were 6 vacant land buyers in that city. The reality is that county, I could pull the whole county in that scenario because any of the active land buyers there could be interested in that. And it does have some things going for it because I think it's water or water view land. So there's some pluses there. So I'm going to do that outreach.
Before you go further away
What's
from
that?
land, before you transition away from land, I want to ask a clarifying question. When you have land that's closer to you, Josh, I know you said you love working those. Do you try to get an agreement with the people you're bringing it to be able to list the properties once they build on that land? Do you try to secure that in the beginning of the deal? Meaning that if somebody tells you I'm buying land built to be able to resell, would you tell them I'm more than willing to go out and help you find this land, but I do want to be the agent that helps you
Oh, of
sell the
course.
house?
Of course. And honestly, when I have those conversations, most of the time they offer that up without me even asking. I've talked to 3 this year like that. They build 3 or 4 houses a year, and they all called on a building lot I have listed, and all of them, before I said anything, offered that. But if they don't, absolutely. And you can say it jokingly, "Hey, I'd love to go find you some properties that fit what you're looking for." How would I say it? That is, of course, if you'll help me list it at the end or whatever, I could come up with something better. But absolutely. And I just haven't had to because at least my most recent examples of that, they've offered it up before I even thought to ask it.
Perfect.
And I guess I also just, this is just the way I think and operate. Like, I know that I'm pretty good at this stuff. And I assume that they will assume, "Oh, wow, this guy is thorough. I'd much rather have this guy list my property than the last guy that I've had do it." But specifically asking and getting their verbal commitment to that, there's definitely something to that, 100%. So closing the loop on that guy. Number 1, I'm going to do the work to see if we can find a buyer for his Harvey's Lake parcel. And also, I'm going to make sure that I get a better idea. The main thing I was trying to clarify about his buy box is, are they only looking for multifamily? And I wanted to get better idea of what geographic areas they want or don't want. That because that was the only things that he hadn't clarified to me. And I had reached out to him about a multifamily property. So I'm taking the assumptive approach. That's what he wants. But I was just trying to clarify that. And that is, for me, that'll be closing the loop as much as I can right then and there. And then I've got someone who will be on my short list. If I have a multifamily property in Enola that says, "Yes, I'll take an offer," he's going to be one of the first ones that I go to because he owns a multifamily property in Enola. And he's told me we want to add more to the portfolio. And I built a little rapport and relationship with him.
Can you drop that absentee doc in there in the chat?
Which one?
Just the scripts. I just want
Oh, I didn't do that? I'm an idiot. Sorry.
to.
My guy Jason, also watching on TikTok, he had a great variation of this. Oh, I clearly didn't drop this because I didn't even make it open. He said, "Any interest in trading up from one of your current properties? 1031 exchange, baby. Are you thinking about trading in some greenhouses for a red hotel?" Monopoly lingo. You ready to trade in some of those little greenhouses and turn it into a big red hotel? Something along those lines? Absolutely. Absolutely. And that's one of the cool things about being able to see their portfolio in LeadDeck is you can even tie it into, oh, it looks okay. They've got a couple of single family. They got this multifamily. and you can weave that in. That's a great shout. Jason, thanks for the share.